the importance of developing the core muscles and the functional movements that are necessary in order to develop these core muscles. So we started with the standing position and how to properly engage our core muscles. Now we're going to extend upon that. We're going to take it to the floor and we're going to do the hollow hold and the dead bug. So stay tuned.
Alright guys, today we're going to start with the dead bug. I feel like this one is a good one to start with because it's a very foundational movement. If you're experiencing any kind of low back pain or any kind of injury where maybe you can't start with planks just yet, but you do want to work on strengthening the core, this is a great exercise to start with. And you're actually going to be utilizing your entire core, so it's a lot better or a more better option than like sit-ups and stuff like that. So we're going to start with the dead bug. So I want Crystal to lay back. I'm going to break it down and start with the most basic movement and then move it up to more of an advanced dead bug. So you can take this as simple as you need it to be and as difficult as you need it to be until you're ready to move forward with the plank. So for her, for the dead bug, we're actually going to start with her knees bent. And what I actually want her to do is I want her to keep her head, neck, and shoulders on the floor at all times. I'm actually going to also have her keep her back pressed into the mat. So you might kind of see her hips rotate down, downward, so that way her low back is really firmly pressed into the floor. That is a very key thing that we need to pay attention to, is that your low back stays in contact with the floor at all times.
Yeah, we don't want this.
Right, no arching. If you start to feel arching in your low back, then that's when we need to adjust your form. Okay, so I'm actually gonna have her bring her knees up, good. And I'm actually gonna make sure that she's a little bit off right at 90 degrees. Some people will tend to go forward because that feels comfortable, but when you really want that core contraction, you wanna start at about 90 degrees. And then I'm gonna have her take her hands back behind her, about right there. Let's bring them up just a little more. Good. Now from there, just like we did last week with the drawing of the belly button, she's going to draw her belly button in towards her spine. And this is it. So this is a basic dead bug that you could start with. If we really want to take it up to where you have moving parts going and you're still focused on keeping that core contraction, I would actually bring her hands up here. And then what she's going to do is she's going to take her opposite hand and her opposite foot and she's going to move them away from the body. And see how her other arm immediately wanted to come forward. So that's something you also have to focus on, is keeping the other two parts still as you're moving the other parts. Good. Is that comfortable for you? Good. So this is also really good for that mind-body connection, because you have to tell your brain what to do and then make your body do it. Or your brain has to tell your body what to do and then you have to actually do it. So this is good cognitively as well. And I always make sure to ask if they're comfortable. Are you feeling any discomfort? If you do, please don't be afraid to tell your trainer that you're feeling something. Don't think that you have to do something because I gave her the exercise. Crystal and I have been training together for a few years now, so I know her very well and I know her core strength. But occasionally we do still have some issues with her low back, which stems from other issues that we're dealing with. And so for her, a lot of times movements on her backside aren't ideal for her.
Yeah, and I really want people to understand that even people who are fitness experts such as April, or who are very well versed in functional fitness like myself, there are still certain moves that are much more fundamental and simpler that I still struggle with. There are some advanced moves that I do very well, and then more basic moves just from the shifting of certain hip movements that are still a struggle for me. So just because you struggle with one exercise, please don't let it get you down. Please continue. You're supposed to struggle. It's something new. It's something a little bit difficult. But like April said, make sure that you're communicating with your trainer, make sure you're listening to your body, and if you need to adjust it and try a different exercise, that's the goal. So if somebody can't do a hollow hold, would we recommend the dead bug?
Yes, so the dead bug would be what you would start with before the hollow hold.
Before the hollow hold, okay.
So we're gonna move into the hollow hold. Ready?
Okay. All right, guys, so you just saw us do the dead bug. But if somebody is struggling with the dead bug and or you are trying to move forward and advance your core movement, we are going to show you the hollow hold.
Yes. So the hollow hold, you'll see sometimes across fitness industry that the hollow hold is also probably called more an advanced dead bug. So don't let the names confuse you, but we're just gonna take that dead bug up a notch. So we're gonna have her lay down again. Again, with this one, we always want everything, that posterior chain, head, neck, shoulders, low back, on the floor at all times, okay? So at any time when I put her in the position for the hollow hold, if she starts to feel her back rising, then we adjust and move from there.
Okay.
So just like the dead bug, I actually want you to start with everything in the center, but I want your legs straight. I want the toes pointed, and I want your arms straight up for now. So this is start position for the hollow hold. So if you feel uncomfortable doing this position or you're already struggling to do this position, I would definitely start with the dead bug instead of this. So here we are. Now I'm gonna ask her to lower her legs down until she starts to feel her low back come off the floor.
There.
And then come up out of it just a hair. Then we're gonna take the arms back, and she should feel, and you can see her stomach reacting or her core muscles reacting, and so that's her hollow hold position. Normally I would give people either intervals of 15 or 30 seconds, or if I know that they are up to it, I'll have them push for a minute. Go ahead and relax for me. So another way that I can take this up just a tiny bit is we're gonna go back to start. She's gonna find her range. Take the arms back. Now, I want you to contract your upper abs and lift your shoulder blades off the floor. That's a very advanced movement. It doesn't look like a lot, but she is probably using most of her muscles in her body to hold this position. And she's gonna hold it for a minute, and I'd actually have her take her arms back but still keep the shoulder blades up. About right there. Good, she's having to breathe through it. All right, relax. Now, we had talked about earlier how I've been working with her for a long time now, and I know her core strength. Sometimes she has a little bit difficulty with the hollow hold because of the low back and hips. But what's interesting enough is sometimes if you add a little bit of extra to it, it actually makes her concentrate more, and she actually gets more of a feeling of what she's doing. So a lot of times for her, I'll throw a Bosu underneath. For some people, it can be a towel, just something to give her brain the, what's the word I'm looking for?
Tactile?
Yeah, like a tactile
trigger
to be able to push her low back into something. Because even though the floor is there, your brain just recognizes the floor as one long piece of information. And if you can slide something under there, like right where we want your back to actually push down into the floor, your brain's like, oh, this is something different, and it gives you a little bit better response in reading. So she likes the Bosu because it helps her focus on the core muscles and perform the exercise correctly.